dominant performance on both sides of the ball. Maybe played with their foods a little bit early in this one, but did they surge home? Lamar Jackson postgame with Amanda Balionis.
Lamar, it was a tale of two halves for you guys for this offense. 67 yards passing in the first half, 158 and 3 TDs in the second. What were the adjustments made?
Man, just playing Raven football, just finishing the game. We knew it was going to be this type of game. We faced them twice a year. Been doing it for a while. Pretty much the same guys from last year. We just had to do what we had to do.
Talk about your defense. They came in mad this week after that loss. I know the message was to play hard all 4 quarters. What did you see out of them today?
Man, the original Raven defense, the guys got a turnover, got 2 turnovers at that, made things happen, scored 1 turnover, and kept the offense from moving the ball downfield and putting points on the board.
That Roquan Smith touchdown hasn't happened since 2020, week 9. That's pretty impressive. John Harbaugh says that you're now Lamar 3.0. Considering the way you guys won this game, it was in the air, not on the ground like we're so used to seeing from you guys. What does that say about the evolution of this offense?
Man, there's always room for improvement. Like you said, we started off with 67 points first half. Hopefully we dial it up at the beginning of the game, first half, and then finish the game even stronger. So we just got to keep working hard, getting practice, and do better.
Appreciate the time. Yeah.
All right, we knew they were going to come out hungry after. Back in studio with the guys, and the word resounding in my head in preparation for this game was response. We wanted to see the way the Ravens would respond to the game ending in week 1. What did you make of the response and the levee breaking here in the second half?
Well, what the Ravens did, they took advantage of some short fields because for the first 2.5 quarters of this game, Cleveland's defense looked like Cleveland's defense from week 1, looked like Cleveland's defense from really the better part of the last 2 or 3 years under Jim Schwartz, because they were scoring from 24 out, 51 yards out, and then 5 yards out. So Lamar Jackson and that offense didn't have to do too much. And then they started to pour it on. But the one guy that I would highlight is DeAndre Hopkins, who I think when he signed with the Baltimore Ravens, it was like, all right, well, you got the corpse of DeAndre Hopkins going to Baltimore, and hopefully he can maybe stay healthy once they play January football. This is a guy who is making plays so far through the first 2 weeks, important plays for this Baltimore Ravens team. So should have won week 1. Nice bounce back here, leaving no doubt against the foe.
Targeted twice, 2 receptions, and a touchdown. It hasn't been volume to D-Hop, but when his number is called, he has showed up through these first 2 games. Mac, the Ravens responded the way we expect them to against this Cleveland team, but sometimes when they play Cleveland, they're caught in a stalemate for longer than this.
No question. I mean, that's AFC North football. It's something about the Cleveland Browns, regardless of what their overall record may be. They play tough within the division. Just ask the Cincinnati Bengals, who were biting their teeth for 4 quarters. And this is the bright thing about this game in terms of how Baltimore won. JJ, you talked about how stagnant the offense was for Baltimore. But guess what? Their defense was not. They were balling, and they needed to have a get-right moment. This was a get-right moment playing against the Cleveland Browns and Joe Flacco because of what did not happen last week, and they played outstanding football. They forced turnovers. Heck, they even scored a touchdown, something they haven't done since 2020. So when you look at their defense with all the high-level players they have on all 3 levels, this is what we expect to see from the Baltimore Ravens, not the letdown that we saw in the second half last week against the Buffalo Bills.
And with the Baltimore Ravens, the Browns, you don't want to give this team bulletin board material. And that's what they gave them today, saying Derrick Henry was an easy tackle, saying nothing that the Baltimore secondary was going to do, Jared Jeudy, I'm speaking of, was going to do to hurt them as a receiver core. We needed to see this game for the Baltimore Ravens. They started out a little slow in the first half because we all know what the Browns defense presents to the Baltimore Ravens. They know each other very well, but in the second quarter, they put it on them. And the quiet thing about it is Derrick Henry didn't even have a big day. 11 yards, 11 rushes, 23 yards, and they still found a way to put up 41 points.
41-17. It was Myles Garrett at that bulletin board to begin the week saying, we feel disrespected as 2 touchdown dogs against the Baltimore Ravens. MetLife, we're pleased to take you back out to the site where the lead analyst of the NFL on CBS, Tony Romo, joins us now. Tony, the result here may be representative of the different echelons these 2 teams currently occupy. What did you make of specifically Buffalo's performance today?
Well, I thought they systematically came out and did what they really wanted to, which was to impose their will, and they just made the game simple. And they didn't ask Josh Allen to be a hero. Some games you need him, but this is the sign of a really good football team, where they could just go right downhill and say, we're just a little bit better than you guys are right now, and really a lot better today. And I thought for the concern, the emotional letdown from the Bills side after that big win, it actually looked the other way, where the Jets almost had that little emotional letdown.
Some of the groupthink throughout the week, maybe the nitpick, the thread you're going to pull at if you're going to pull at one in Buffalo is it says Josh in bold at the top of that call sheet maybe a little too often. The fact that the personnel group goes out there and performs the way they did. What do you make of this two deep as you have it in front of you here for the Buffalo Bills this season?
I just think they got depth, and I think they did a great job in the offseason of getting their team to handle, because some of the injuries that have affected them in the past, where I think I was impressed, even though they gave up a ton of yards to the Ravens, they had the ability to stay with, some of the receivers. They got more speed. The depth up front is going to serve them really well. If Joey Bosa stays healthy, this is going to be a very tough team to beat come playoff time.
Maybe a olive branch to the team in green if we can find one. I'm not sure if that's the direction we take it, but week one we saw a Justin Fields ceiling that maybe we hoped for, and here in week two obviously ends in injury, but we maybe saw the floor. How do you explain the relationship between that ceiling and floor right now for the quarterback?
Well, you want to see consistency, so you want to see last week's performance at least have some more of that. I think today it's a tough one, because the challenge is this defense does a great job disguising where to start with your eyes, and I think, but give the Bills credit. They literally had a great plan. Some of the corner blitzes on early downs put them behind the chains where they became one-dimensional, and that's not the recipe for success for them. But you just got to see it a little bit more tighter. You missed too many throws that were open today.
Wasn't the most exciting game in the world, but Tony, you told me a couple weeks ago as we sat down, you found the joy in it all, and joy here in a moment for Jim Nantz, 40 years in the booth. You give him our best as well.
You got it, buddy. It was great. He's the best.
Tony Romo, Jim Nantz, and Tracy Wolfson, the A-team, taking us through another one here, and it's a dominant Buffalo Bills performance in this one. James Cook, not necessarily getting to those Josh Jacobs numbers just yet, but consecutive games with a rushing touchdown. Cook, now 6 and counting. Comprehensive effort here on the road from the Bills, who improved to 2-0.
Pittsburgh Steelers, their ability to be clutch, be extremely smart, no mental lapse, special team success. We did not see that today. The young rookie Caleb Johnson, with these new rules that we're all trying to figure out as we go, kickoff rules, when the ball is in play, you touch the football, it's a live football. Unfortunately, he was not aware of that. That led to the game-sealing touchdown for the Seattle Seahawks that paved the way for them to have a huge, much-needed win.
Pat, losses are losses. We've talked about this while we watch games, but you said as we came on here, this is a bad loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is that relative to expectation, relative to execution? What do you make of this performance?
I think it's a little bit of both, execution and expectation, because when you look at it, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I still have concerns about their defense. They had the Seattle Seahawks scored 23 unanswered points in the second half. That is not a Pittsburgh staple for an organization. They love to lean on their defense, and when it comes to the fourth quarter, they want to be able to close these games out. And another thing about the offense, they're picking up Aaron Rodgers too much off the ground. They're picking him up too much off the ground, and Jaylen Warren cannot be your lead receiver with 4 catches, 86 yards. They have to find a way to get DK Metcalf involved, Calvin Austin, and protect Aaron Rodgers much better than they have been the first 2 weeks.
And Roman Wilson.
Yeah.
Remember, he was a high drafted player a year ago. He missed the entire season, but remember, they were saying great things about Roman Wilson coming out of camp. He only had 1 catch. His first career catch happened today. So to your point, the passing game got to find some playmakers.
Plenty of positives on the other side. 395 total yards, 295 through the air for Sam Darnold. 2 touchdowns to his 2 interceptions. But how important was this performance to go on the road and come home with 1?
Well, it was huge. And I think what we have seen, whether Pete Carroll is the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks or Mike McDonald is, they know how to win when they go across time zones and they play those early, what should be early to the Seattle body clock, those games. They continue to win them. I think 20-4 in their last 24 when they play Sunday 1 p.m. Eastern games. So kudos to them and their staff and operation there. I didn't think that the Seattle Seahawks played all that poorly last week. I think a ball here or there, and they would have beaten
2 plays.
Right.
2 plays.
2 plays.
And they would have beaten the San Francisco 49ers. We're talking about a 2-0 Seattle Seahawks team, right? But you get 100 yards from Cooper Kupp,